Hey there, welcome to the Her Business Podcast. I'm Suzi Dafnis and I have been thinking about something a lot lately, and that something is visibility. And before you think, oh no, she's going to tell me to post more on social media, do not worry, that is not where we're going today. I have worked with so many business owners over the years, and I've realized that visibility isn't about social media and it's not about your marketing. It is really about making it easier for people to choose you when they have so many choices. And that distinction is really important. Now, I was talking to a business owner just recently, and she is brilliant at what she does. I absolutely adore her. Her clients adore her. She gets results that are exceptional. She has years and years and years of experience, and she's really thoughtful, really caring, really committed to her work and to her clients. And yet she was feeling frustrated because business wasn't growing as fast as she wanted it to. Now, as we talked, it became clear that it wasn't a problem with her offer. She had actually packaged and priced and put together her offer really, really well. And it was nothing to do with her expertise. It was all to do with people not knowing that she existed. And I see this all the time, and I experience it myself even after years and years of being in business. There are so many women running fantastic businesses who are quietly doing incredible work, but it's all behind the scenes. And because they're not particularly visible, they get overlooked. Meanwhile, someone else who may not be at all better at what they do is getting more opportunities, more airtime, more referrals, more inquiries, and ultimately more clients. And that's because they are visible. Now, people can only choose from the options that they're aware of. That makes total sense. So if people don't know your business exists, it's hard for them to choose you. And that got me thinking about how often we assume we have a sales problem when what we really have is a visibility problem. Because if people don't know who you are, they cannot buy from you. They can't refer you. They can't recommend you. They can't invite you to speak at their conference or on their podcast. They can't collaborate with you. They can't send you referrals. And perhaps most importantly, they can't choose you. And now when I say visibility, I think it's important to clarify what I mean, because it's one of those words that immediately brings up images of influencers and social media personalities and people with tens of thousands of people following them, people sharing every detail of their lives online, which for many women, that is completely unappealing. That's not the kind of visibility I'm talking about. I'm talking about something much simpler. Visibility is really about being known by the people that you want to have as your clients. It's about making sure the right people understand who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. That's all. In fact, one of the questions I often encourage business owners to ask themselves is this: if someone was looking for exactly the solution that I provide, how easy would it be for them to find me? And actually, just recently, we recorded 2 episodes of this show that were about how to have AI find you, because so many people are using AI for search. So I'll put links to those episodes in the show notes. But back to the question, if someone was looking for exactly the solution I provide, how easy would it be for them to find me? And once they found me, how quickly would they understand what I do? Those 2 things are so important. 1, being found. 2 is people getting really quickly what it is that you do. Because here's something I've noticed. Many of us assume that we're visible because we are posting on social media. We're sending emails. We're updating our website. We're doing all the marketing activities. We're building funnels. We're building courses. But visibility isn't measured by what you're publishing. It's measured by what people remember. Do people know your name, your company name? Do they understand what you do? Would they think of you when they needed help in an area that you're the expert at? Would they recommend you if someone asked? That is a really different question, because it's entirely possible to be creating lots of content and still not be particularly visible to the people who matter the most, right? And just spinning our wheels, putting stuff out there and then wondering why it's not sticking. And visibility is about whether people outside of your existing circle know enough about you to think of you when they need help. And one of the reasons that visibility matters so much is because that is how people make decisions. If you think about the last time you made a significant purchase, maybe it was for a coach or a mentor or a consultant or a service provider or a piece of software or a vacation, whatever it was, chances are you didn't discover it 1 minute and buy it the next, like you would going into a 7-Eleven to buy some gum. Most buying decisions happen over long periods of time. We see something, we hear about it, we come across that person again, we get an email, we hear them on a podcast, a friend mentions them, and gradually something happens. We become familiar enough with them to take the risk. And familiarity is incredibly powerful because familiarity creates trust, right? Even though we've never met that person, they show up enough in our lives, we start to think that we know them in some way. We start to trust them. And trust makes choosing that much easier. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes business owners make is assuming that people aren't responding immediately because they're not interested. But often people are paying attention long before they're ready to buy. So I want you to be hopeful with that. They're observing, they're learning about you, they're watching how you show up, they're getting a sense of who you are. And sometimes I know you think, gosh, for how long are they going to be watching and getting a sense of who I am before they buy? But one day when the timing is right, they'll reach out. I can't tell you how many times I've heard someone say, oh, I've been following you for years, or I've been reading your emails for ages, or I've been listening to your podcast for months or years. Meanwhile, you have no idea they're even there. Visibility works quietly. It builds that familiarity and that trust over time. And there's another side of this conversation that I think is also important. And that is the cost of staying invisible. Now, I get you might be an introvert, or I get you might hate social media, but staying hidden isn't actually a neutral activity. And here's what I mean. It comes at a cost. It's the cost of missed opportunities. I hear business owners all the time say, we want more referrals or more partnerships or more speaking opportunities, collaborations, come to me. And they're great goals, but opportunities tend to flow towards people who are known. Not necessarily the most talented people, not necessarily the most qualified people, the people who are visible, because people cannot recommend someone they've never heard of. They can't refer someone they don't understand. They can't invite you into an opportunity if they do not know what you do. And sometimes we underestimate just how much opportunity is sitting on the other side of becoming more visible. But there's another cost too, not just the missed opportunities. When you're working away quietly and you're not getting much response, it's easy to start questioning yourself. And it's easy to wonder whether people want what you're offering, whether your business is even relevant, whether you've got the right offers, whether your products or services are good enough. Sometimes you might even wonder if you're good enough. But sometimes what we're interpreting as a lack of demand is actually a lack of awareness. And those are very different things. As I've said 2 or 3 times already, people can't buy something they don't know exists. They can't value expertise that they've never really encountered or experienced. And that can be quite liberating when you think about that, because instead of assuming that you need to change everything, you can simply focus on helping more people become aware of the value that you already provide. So what does that look like in practice? Well, one of the simplest things you can do is repeat yourself more often than feels comfortable. And I know that sounds strange, but hear me out. Most business owners become tired of their own message long before their audience has heard it before. You might think, I am saying the same thing over and over. Trust me, people are busy. They're not thinking about you. They're not listening to every podcast. They're not reading every email. They're not seeing every social post. You talk about something once, twice, and you assume everyone's got it. Or you mention your expertise and then you move on. You explain your process and how you help people, and then you never talk about it again. Meanwhile, your audience may have completely missed it. They were busy that day. Or they've seen it but not fully understood it. You know, sometimes you hear something for the first time and you only take in a little piece, and it's not till you've heard it the second or third time that the penny drops. Or perhaps they weren't ready to pay attention right at that moment when you were sharing your message. And one of the most powerful things that you can do is to continue talking about the things that matter. If you have a look at my LinkedIn profile at the moment, I am on an almost daily basis talking about leadership and women, and specifically small business leadership, and how to have women with teams step into their power as leaders. And I'm doing it every single day, and I'm thinking, gosh, am I repeating myself? But no, people are just starting to hear it because I keep continuing to talk about the things that matter. And that's what I want for you to do. Your expertise, your perspective, your values, your process, the transformation you can help clients achieve. And what feels repetitive to you often feels reassuring to your audience. They're like, that's what she's about. And another thing that can make a huge difference is simply showing up where your ideal clients are spending time. And that doesn't mean creating more content. Sometimes visibility comes from participating, not just creating content. So joining conversations, attending events, online events or offline events, being active in the communities in which you belong. I'm always encouraging the Her Business community to post, to comment, to show up to events, and to share your insights, ask thoughtful questions, contribute your expertise. There is so much value and such an opportunity to become visible when you contribute your expertise. It's the quickest way for people to know that you know what you're talking about and that they can come to you. And I'm not saying go in and tell everyone to buy your stuff, but sometimes by simply contributing your expertise, you're demonstrating your authority. So if ever there's a small business forum that I'm in and there's a question about marketing or leadership or team or planning or could be anything that I know about, I will make a comment. I'm not going to ask anyone to buy from me, but I want to support that person with my expertise. And if that down the line means someone trusts me, gets to know me, and turns into a member or a client, a mentoring client, great. Now, sometimes I'm going to talk about content creation here. We're focused on creating more that we forget the power of simply being present. Now, I know for the introverts in the room, that can be scary. It's comfortable to be behind our laptop or at home. But I know I have had to kind of hack my own behavior and get out in front of people. And right now, as I'm recording, I'm spending an extended period of time in New York City with my partner and my dog. And so I don't know anybody here. So it takes a lot of effort for me to get out and get in front of people. But I've started to do it. It's always more magical to participate rather than watch from the sidelines. And doing that in person is its own version of magic. But if that's not available to you, maybe you live in a remote area, maybe you don't have mobility issues, maybe you just don't have time to go to in-person events, there are so many online events like the ones we run inside of Her Business, or it can be taking part in discussion groups or Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups or anywhere you can contribute your expertise. And there's another approach that I absolutely love. Instead of always trying to build visibility one person at a time, look for opportunities to connect with existing audiences. Getting on a podcast is a wonderful example. We have the most incredible guests here on the show. Speaking opportunities, whether it's to a group of 2 or 200 or 2,000, it's more leverage than one-on-one. Partnerships. Who else has my customer is a great question to ask. Can I partner with them? Collaboration, same thing. Guest articles. There are a number of publications that will take guest articles. It's a great way to be seen and be visible. Getting yourself on panels, attending industry events. Now, these opportunities allow you to share your ideas with people you may never have discovered otherwise and who may never have discovered you. These are the sorts of things that we encourage members inside of Her Business to do with each other and to open those doors to each other. And that's the power of being part of a connected network. And often they create visibility much faster than trying to build something from scratch on their own. Because as I said, visibility isn't about creating more. Sometimes it's about connecting more. Connecting more. Now, before we wrap up, I want to acknowledge something. For many women, visibility can feel uncomfortable. I've heard you say that again and again. Perhaps you've been taught not to draw attention to yourself, not to talk about your achievements, not to take up too much space. And if that's true for you, I completely understand. But I want to offer another way of thinking about visibility. It isn't about making yourself more important. It's about making your work more accessible. It's about helping the people who need your expertise finding it. It's about making sure that the value that you've spent years developing doesn't stay hidden. Because when you're invisible, it's not just you who misses out, it's the people who need what you have who also miss out. And that, I think, is an important distinction. This is not about become a better self-promoter. No, it's about service to those that really need you. It's about ensuring that your ideas, your expertise, and your experience have the opportunity to reach the people who can benefit from them. So as we finish up today, I'd love to leave you with a simple question. What's one thing that you could do this week to become just a little more visible? I'm not asking you to do 10 things, not a complete marketing overhaul, not to post more, just one thing. Maybe it's a conversation or an introduction or a small event that you can attend or an email that you can send or a piece of content that you can put out there. One opportunity to be seen by the people that you want to serve. Because being visible doesn't require you to become anyone other than who you are. And it doesn't require you to be louder. It doesn't require you to be everywhere all the time. It simply requires you to be a little easier to find, a little easier for us to understand what you do, a little easier for us to remember you. Because there are people out there right now who are looking for exactly what you offer. I don't know if you can hear those sirens behind me. I'm in New York City and they are just a staple of being here. And we're quite high up, but I can still hear them loudly. I don't know if you can. The question is, can they, the people who need what you have, find you? And if the answer is not yet, perhaps that's your next growth opportunity. Not working harder, not becoming more qualified, not reinventing your business, just becoming more visible. And as I said, these days so many people are searching online, not using Google, but using AI, that you want to make sure you're showing up. So in our show notes, I am going to put a link to the 2 episodes we recently recorded, which I highly recommend you have listened to. If this episode resonated with you, I would love to hear about it. You can send me a message on Instagram. You'll find us at @herbusiness on Instagram. You can share this episode with another woman business owner who might need to hear this message today. And what I'm going to do is I mentioned a couple of resources for you. I'm going to put those over on our website at herbusiness.com/367. That's where you'll find a summary of today's episode and links to the resources. And if you're new to the show, make sure you hit subscribe or follow wherever you're listening. I want to give a shout out to one of our listeners, Liz Van Vliet from the Linchpin Assistant, a long-time part of the extended Her Business community. Now, she listened to one of those episodes about AI that I mentioned, and she said this. She said, "Hey, Suzi, I just wanted to say thank you for your episode on AI search. So great, and loved how at the heart of it was your ideal client teachings." And what she's referring to is, one of the core teachings in that episode is that really appealing to your ideal client. She said, "You're such a legend." I tried to leave a review and I couldn't because I've already left one before, so I'm sending you this message. So thank you to Liz, and Liz's work is really interesting, and she's been so committed to this ideal client for so long. She enables executives to build high trust, high impact partnership with their executive assistants, and she trains those executive assistants on how to be irreplaceable in an AI workplace. Yeah, so you can find her at thelinchpinassistant.com, and I'll put her details over on our show notes page as well. Hey, thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time right here on the Her Business Podcast. Bye for now.